Have you ever wondered what it takes to create a craft beer business from scratch? Well, join me in this vlog series as I show you how to bring passions to reality.
Hey there. So, if you haven't seen part one, I would recommend going back and watching that, as I did have to split this first vlog across multiple parts. Otherwise, if you're here for part two, then sit back and enjoy.
So the actual mission and vision that I have for this business, so this is a bit of a daydreaming, night dreaming, I don't know, whatever time of day you're watching this video, but if we were to dream for a minute, how I would see this business going, essentially what I want to do is bring unique craft beer ideas to life and to you. So the beers that I tend to create at home anyway as a home brewer are those like they're inspired by both like tradition and innovation. So often when I do create a new recipe or a new beer at home to create, it's something like say a beer style that might be hard to get, or particularly here in Australia anyway. Maybe they're more prevalent overseas, but something that's maybe hard to get here locally, or they're not readily available. Maybe they're styles that local breweries don't produce. So you can only get them from overseas, and you're just at the whims of whether people can import them or not, or maybe it's just a rare beer style that maybe no one makes anymore. And that's the sort of stuff that I get inspired by when I create beer recipes. Sometimes I just like to challenge myself to see if I can recreate a beer style and see what it would taste if, or what my interpretation would taste. How is that different to what's out there? Just to see, well, maybe can I have a unique take on that? Can I change an ingredient or two, add an ingredient that is maybe not typically in there to see what it can create, just to do something different. I must say, a lot of my beer recipes do end up being like that. I have an idea of I'm gonna do this, and then I'll see some other ingredient and go, oh yeah, why not add that in? Maybe I can just change that out, and then sometimes I end up with something completely different to what I thought I was going to start with, but that's just the way it is. And further to that, sometimes I just get inspired by a particular ingredient. Maybe I see a hop, or most often I see a particular grain and go, oh, that sort of malt sounds really interesting. What kind of beer can I make with this weird malt that I have never used before? Or maybe I have used it before, but maybe it's only just a small portion or touch, and maybe I want to make a beer that showcases that. Or maybe I just see 10 different grains that I have never used before or hardly ever do use, and go, what just happens if we put them all together? Or, as I said before, perhaps it's just a new take on something, whether it's just getting a type of beer and going, what happens if I add or remove the hops? Maybe a beer that's not hoppy, I'll add more hops to it, or a beer that is usually hoppy and take the hops away, or go, this beer is usually pale. What happens if I add some dark grains into it? Just to sort of experiment, to see what happens. They're the type of beers that I usually get inspired by. Stuff that's not regularly available or is new or different. Essentially, when it comes to beer, I believe that I am a true nomad. Whether it is always, every time I go online to buy a beer, it's always something new. It's not the same thing I tried last time. It's always looking for something different that maybe I haven't tried before. Whether it is going to a new brewery to try what they have, see what's on offer, even homebrewing recipes, always trying something different. So I just want to bring unique beers that's inspired by all those type of experiences, and bring it to you. And I think one of the things that I do truly believe is that drinking beer is an experience. It should be enjoyed as an experience, and that's the type of beer that I want to bring to you. I do believe every beer is unique in some way, whether it is, I mean, even if it's just a tiny, minute thing, but I think every brewery does have their own way about going things, and I just want to capture the essence of all that, all that stuff, and just produce some unique beers that hopefully excite and inspire you to go exploring the craft beer world. And so on that last point, that building excitement around craft beer is something that I do want to do, and I want to create a sense of community around that, where we can come together, be inspired to explore the world of craft beer and all those experiences that are out there. And it would be my dream would be that you could go to any bar or pub or bottle shop, and there's going to be some something different, maybe something unique, maybe something not so unique, but it's just at least slightly different to the normal. Maybe the one different thing is that hazy pale, or hazy IPA. But, it's very, if you walk into most places, I'd say it's that same stock standard lineup. And I'm not saying there aren't places that don't have those unique beers. I mean, you can go to craft beer bars and pubs that just specifically do all this good unique stuff. But it'd be great if you could just walk in anywhere and there's at least something there that will be different that you could try. That's at least my dream anyway. Maybe it's a pipe dream, maybe it's a dream too far. But if you don't dream big, well, you'll never get there if you don't dream at all. So the dream in terms of this specific business here that drives me, because I think there's always something behind every business, or at least every business that succeeds, even the ones that fail. But I think behind every business, there's always that dream, that vision that drives the business forward as to why it's existing in the first place. And I guess for me, the goal of where I want to take this business is I want to expand that nomad brewing concept. And obviously this, once I can actually get some beers to sell and people actually want to buy it and want to drink it, which would be a goal in itself. As I said before, just that starting off small and getting that going would be an achievement in itself. But if we can get there and we're dreaming bigger, then it would be good to expand on that and have several different, batches of different beers, of limited release beers created in a year. You might have, I don't know what the number is, 3, 4, whatever it might be in a year that, get created, something different, something unique for each one. Maybe if there are particular beers that do sell really well, that people want, maybe they can become a feature, like such as a flagship beer, but not just a flagship beer that is unique. A unique flagship beer that maybe most other places wouldn't do. Or perhaps it is a, semi-regular, produced on a semi-regular basis. I think that would be the dream, I think, along with doing collaborations with breweries. So not just having beers created under contract, but if I could get the business to a place where I can go to different breweries and we make and create a different beer as a collab. I think that is a real dream of mine in terms of the nomad brewing concept of this business. And then, of course, as I'm sure every backyard brewer has dreamed, to have my own commercial brewing space as well, I think would be the ultimate. Not sure whether I want it to be a large micro brewery scale, because I do have some cool ideas for that up here as to what that could be, or whether it is just the small nano brewery in a shed style of setup, almost like a large homebrew type of dealio. I think would also be good as well. Not exactly which, I'm not sure. Depends how the business goes, and if I ever get to that point, then I'll let you know. But yeah, and if I did get to that point, I think I'd still love to do collaborations, provided that I've actually been able to get some in the first place. But I think collaborating with other breweries to create some unique special beers would be something amazing. Now, obviously, there's a lot of dreaming done in the last couple minutes there, and so if you're still around watching this vlog, thank you very much for even getting to this far. Now, I want to give you an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to create a business and also run a business in the craft beer industry, and how some of these unique and exciting beers are born and how they get to market and what it does take, and perhaps show you things that maybe a lot of other people don't show you on what goes on. I just want to share this journey with you and make you feel like you're a part of it, through all the highs, all the lows, and everything in between, to make you really feel like you're on board this journey here with me, and hopefully inspire you to explore the world of craft beer. Because while, yes, I am creating my own business, and yes, I do want people to buy my own beer, but I think if you're not excited about unique craft beer, then you're not going to buy my products at all. And I think, so that's, from the selfish point of view, but I also think there's many different craft beers out there, particularly here in Australia, that maybe don't get the light of day or don't get celebrated enough. And I also hope to just shed some light on some of those and just inspire you in general to do explore, because I think there's some great craft beer out there, particularly here in Australia, but also throughout the world as well, that I, going on that dreaming again, wish was more readily available here. Hopefully you will be inspired to go on your own journey, whether it is in craft beer or just life in general, and hopefully that will give us all the chance to learn off each other together. I am looking forward to sharing this journey with you, so thanks for being here from the start, and like and subscribe so you don't miss a minute or any of the updates. That's it for today's vlog, and see you in the next one.